Yes, hello. It is saying that I'm live. So let's start this off with a little bit of beats. We got no mixer. I'm just playing a beat off of my phone for a little bit of an intro here while we say hello to all the regulars who are in the house. Irish Lover 7745 has kicked it off with a super chat before the show even started. I don't even know what to say to that. That's bonkers. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. I am, well, shouldn't say who I am yet. You're going to find that out soon enough. Right now, we're just coming in to say what's up to all the people in the chat. Ali Playtube, where you at? Anthony, hello. Ash, X325, hi to you. Yeah. Do an epic Indiana Jones movie parody, says Parker Cowan, a awesome supporter, one of the regulars in here. And we are going to be talking about a lot of cool stuff today. We're going to be talking about the Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage trailer. We're going to be welcoming the second Patreon member. That's some big news. Remember those stickers I told you were coming in? They're in. We got them. I got them in hand. I'm going to show them to you. You're going to love them. You're going to get them in the mail sent to you if you're a member. So make sure you get on that. Now, before we get into detail on any of those topics, let's kick off the show.
Let's go.
At the age of 6, mega superhero fan Sean Ward was hit with a thunderbolt of truth. Grown-ups are idiots figuring things out no different than kids are. A revelation inspired by his villainous grade 1 teacher. Years later, with his childhood dreams all but dead, Sean found himself dialing for dollars with no hope in sight. He decided then and there, it was time to make a change.
So it's making the proclamation, you know what, if I'm going to be a famous comic book creator, if I'm going to be a famous entertainer someday, then I have to be a famous entertainer today, rather than puttering about and hoping that the rest of the world gives me permission.
Now, Sean is revolutionizing social media through fun and wacky superhero videos, bursting past 3 million subscribers and flirting with 1 billion views. He is rivaling the numbers of the likes of Will Smith and The Breakfast Club. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Sean Ward.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am Sean, and I am broadcasting to you live from a top secret underground location high in the sky above Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I'm Sean, and this right here is my URL of my new website, which I've conveniently enough put on the screen up here behind me, so you could always be seeing it anytime we're doing one of these shows. And if you ever forget what it looks like and you forget what the URL is, well, that's okay. You just come check it out on this screen right here. No, everybody, I'm very, very excited. We got some cool stuff to cover this week. This is going to be a good one. We have our second Patreon member. Let's see, did I make a banner for that? I sure did. Boom, second Patreon member. Wish I had some buttons for like sound effects to play right now. But like I said before, this is only a beta test. We're not at that big pro level yet where we're going to have like applause buttons and all this kind of stuff. All we're doing right now is testing out the live stream, seeing what kind of topics y'all like, and wondering what should I wear. Did I overdress for today's show? You can let me know in the comments if you think I overdressed for today's show wearing this. Let's get that banner out of there. You can get a good look here. Get that banner out of the way. So today I'm wearing this dope Garrison bespoke Italian hop sack suit, because I felt like today was a day that I needed to kick some ass. And here's a little bit of life advice from me to you, everybody, is that when you feel like you need like a little bit of a boost in life, get things going, you need to get some momentum in your life, whatever, dress nice that day. Dress like you've got like 3 of the most important meetings of your life going on later that day. And just, it sets a tone, you know what I mean? And just sets you up for success for that whole day. We're doing some big things over here, I'll tell you what. But before we talk about any of that, we're going to talk about this, how we got our second Patreon member. Got to say what's up and show some love to the second Patreon member. You see him in the chat on this live stream every week. He's called Irish Lover 7745. Our second Patreon member, that's right. And so you too can become a Sean Wardian by going over to the Patreon. That is at patreon.com/Sean Ward, or real simple, real easy. Just click that join button on the YouTube channel and become a Sean Wardian that way. You can do it on YouTube or you can do it on Patreon. And in fact, I did not make a banner for this because I wasn't planning on discussing it, but let me talk about I didn't mean to type on that. Whoopsie. Okay, so let me ask you about this, folks. If I was going to continue, I'm going to continue to do the membership thing. If I moved the membership thing, if I made it so that it was like a members only section at the SeanWardShow.com. So instead of the YouTube, instead of the Patreon, you would go to the SeanWardShow.com and everything would be there. You'd sign up to be a Sean Wardian there. You'd do your payment there, all that kind of stuff. How would you like that? Would you prefer that? Would you think that was cooler? Would you think that was not as cool? You can let me know in the comment in the chat below. Speaking of the chat, a lot of cool people in here today, a lot of regulars we want to say what's up to. Like, for example, here he is right there. He's Irish Lover 7745, wondering if I was going to be on time this week. By my clock on the computer that I'm broadcasting from, I started the stream 4 minutes late. So my apologies for that. We got Amy Waterhouse saying, hi. Hello. We got Steve Morales saying hello to you. Oh, man, here we go. We got Ali Playtube. He called it 4 minutes. 4 minutes is how late I was today. What to see? Was got the comic books were much better than today. Which comic books do you mean, Irish Lover? I'm not sure what you mean with that. Now, here we had to show you where he came through. Before the show even started, he came through with a $5 super chat. And the reason why I need to point this out, I mean, beyond just the fact that I would point it out anyway, but the reason why it's nuts is because this dude, okay, he's sending in a super chat before the show even started. On top of, he is our latest Patreon member. On top of, he was already a YouTube channel member before the Patreon. Like, what is going on? This dude is a super fan. I appreciate it so much. Irish Lover 7745. I'm humbled and flattered by your support, bro. Thank you so much for everything you do, bringing the realness all the time. Let's see. I'm just looking for more of these comments. Oh, a whole bunch just came in. It just like refreshed on me. I got to scroll way back up to see where we were. Oh, man. I'm going to have to go through these in a little bit. There's a whole bunch of new chats came in. Like, we got to say what's up to beloved Benton, who, you see that little symbol? Same thing that's by Irish Lover's name is beside beloved Benton's name. That's the little icon to let you know that they're a member. So you're going to want to get that little icon beside your name. Click join or go over to the Patreon, sign up. We're looking for our third Patreon supporter. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? What is this? What is this? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Beloved Benton coming through with the super chat. Oh, my God. Thank you so much. Got to scroll down and put that on screen. That deserves to go up right away. It's your number one fan. Have some love. I got it. I absorbed it through my skin, even through my Italian hop sack suit. Oh, I'm very, very flattered by your support, you guys. Thank you so much. And as I'm sure you've noticed, we are making a lot of big changes around the YouTube channel these days. Part of the reason why this live show is a beta test, not officially launched yet, is because of these changes that we're making on the YouTube channel. It's partly testing out the format, but it's also partly a platform to keep you all informed of the changes that are happening around here. I had a call this morning with my team, Danny, Valentre, and Cass, and Malcolm in editing, the behind-the-scenes crew. It's amazing, the stuff that's going on around here. It's funny because for the longest time, the success of this channel has been, as you well know, the Spider-Man, Batman, the superhero videos that have been served by the algorithm have been clicked on. And so the algorithm shows them to more people. The clickability of our videos, and people discover them that way, has been our biggest, has been the success of this channel, right? So time has gone on. And as we put an increased focus on, why did this go to sleep? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm just getting this going again. See, like I said, just a beta test. Don't even worry about it. Sometimes the seams are showing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. As I was saying, we've had these videos that have been like the high runaway success ones, the tens of millions of views, the hundreds of millions of views, those ones. That's been all about like the algorithm and the clickability of them in search of suggestions, right? And so you guys watching this, you're the real deal people who like come in week after week and come show back up for the next one, you know, separate from the people who just click on it because it gets suggested to them, watch a video, move on to the next one. But what we're moving into is this world where like we've kind of got up to the top of what we've been able to do with that. And so what's that next level? What's that thing that's going to take us into a world where we're like working on feature films and making real movies the way we've always wanted to, and like all that kind of stuff? Well, those are some of the changes we're implementing around the channel right now. So we're still going to be doing videos as close to every week as we can, but you might notice that the flavor of some of the videos is going to be changing. Like you've seen me do the animated story time videos, right? Where I'm telling you an episode. Like one good example is that, you know, maybe this is a good time for me to share with you my official website at theshawnwardshow.com. So, oh, there's something new there. See this underneath the beautiful picture of me? There's that picture of Zack Snyder in the Justice League. I'll tell you all about that in a minute. But when you see a video like right here, when you see how I got my first 1 million views on YouTube, when you click on that, it takes you over to this kind of comic strip version of that video. So you can watch the video up top. You can scroll down and look at the art, look at how I turned it into a comic strip. That kind of thing is all what we're getting up to. That's one aspect of it, as well as other stuff where we're going to be doing like I got a stunt video coming up, all these different concepts that kind of broaden what we do, right? And so as you notice that we're taking the voyage from here to there, part of the reason why I got to do this live show is because things are so many moving parts and it's all happening so fast that I got to keep you updated on all of it. And that's why we're here, right? So popping back into the chat, I'm going to go from the bottom up to the, and we'll see what happens. What about physical copies of your early comic books for the fandom? Yo, I was just thinking about that this morning. So you said physical copies. So you don't want to see them on Comixology. You want to get it like in your hand. That will be, so tell you what, because right now we're in the thick of making this thing called the Snyder Cut the movie, right? Let me get it on screen for you. Banners. Right now we're in the middle of making this thing called the Snyder Cut the movie. So that's going to be an animated film project with an accompanying graphic novel. And what if, you tell me if this works for you, if I put out the graphic novel and then as a follow-up, the very next thing that comes out in terms of a comics release right after that could be a reissue of my old comics that I used to make selling on the streets. I would love to get that stuff back out, do some kind of cool box set, you know what I mean? I don't want to just like print new pamphlet versions of them. I want to do something special. So like a box set would be fun. A collected volume would be fun. You can let me know which one of those you think would be more exciting, like a collected volume or a box set of reproductions of the individual issues. But I would love to get that going for you in terms of physical copies of the early comic books for the fandom. Also, it just makes me feel amazing that we have a thing called a fandom over on this channel. I know that might sound weird that like a channel that has 4 million subscribers and the guy who runs it is saying, oh, it's neat to have fans. But you have to understand that for the longest time, so I just want to get that banner off of there right now real quick. For the longest time, like I was saying earlier, the success of the channel has been like the clickability of certain titles and whatnot. And it's been a lot of like people kind of come and absorb the videos and move on. There's a flavor to some of the older videos when we didn't really know what we're doing, hadn't developed a style yet. And some people, like some of the early people, mistook us for like a kids channel, right? And so building up that audience hasn't been the easiest task because the business has been wrapped up in like that clickability aspect, right? So actually feeling this community building, it's the difference between, I've been talking recently to a lot of people in my private personal life about how when I was making the comic books, selling them on the street, having my little release party, making videos, putting them on a screen at the release event, about how I felt more successful then, in a way, feeling like I was building something, all that kind of stuff. Then when the channel took off and I was making a whole bunch of money, but it was all about chasing the algorithm, and I didn't feel as successful because it didn't feel like I was building up to the same thing that I once was, right? So all the way along, it's been, let's just run with this opportunity while it's presenting itself and just extract all of the learning value I can out of it. And that'll be like my film school, so that when the time comes to make that shift over to trying to do more of the kinds of things that are the bigger, more feature film kind of aspect things that I want to do, I'll have learned so much from the success of the algorithmic success of the YouTube channel that then I can apply going forward. So that's that story for you. And my goodness. I like your outfit. It reminds me of Tony Stark's, his beloved Benton. Well, yeah, you know what's up. Got to look fly. Got to get that Iron Man look going. Who would win in a fight, Iron Man, Iron Man, or Iron Man? I think Iron Man would win in that one. He said, Rahul laughs in evil villain voice. So, Rahul, I am an Indian lover. I don't even know what that's about, but I'll take it. I love the vibe of this channel, and comic books from the 70s and 80s are so much better than today. Yeah, I mean, for my era, it was like when I was a kid into the 90s, and then when I first started having money to spend, you know, the early 2000s. And most recently, I was collecting comics, and around the time that this YouTube channel was taking off, and when I was actually making a little bit of money, instead of struggling for as long as I had been, so I would go to the comic book store and I would spend $100 to $200 every single week at the comic book store. And I feel like they ran me out. Like, here I am, willing customer, cash in hand, take my money, but they kind of chased me out. And the example that I always give is how I was reading my favorite comic book series at the time, which was Spider-Gwen. I thought what they were doing with that comic book was fantastic. And I'm looking at the new issue, and I'm on the last page, and this page of story says to be continued. And this facing page, without even having to turn a page, this facing page is a letter from the editor explaining how the series is over because everything has to come to a halt so they can do the Secret Wars crossover tie-in event. And so that just kind of left me with this feeling of like, well, if you don't even care about the story, why should I? You know what I mean? And then I kind of got squeezed out that way, I feel like, you know. Let's see. One-stop shopping for the fandom. I hope you're saying that that's what this channel is. Oh my God, Nigel Downer. Hello, bro. Dude, what's up? Nigel Downer. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, Nigel Downer, as you know, call him a dear, dear friend. Every time we see each other at the Comic-Con or at events around town, not so much during lockdown times, but anytime anything's going on and we bump into each other, it's always a big hug, and I'm so happy to see him. This is a guy who is I don't know, am I waxing your car to call you a big time actor up here in in these parts, up here in Toronto, Canada, where I'm from? If you turn on the TV and watch it long enough, you're going to see Nigel show up on something. He's all over the place. And when I was first my YouTube channel had just started to take off, and I was just trying to figure out like what I could do with it, I was hanging around and taking some lessons in improv and whatnot at the Second City. And at that time, Nigel was one of the main stage performers at the Second City here in Toronto. And I looked up to him in terms of like that's kind of like an aspirational kind of thing. And where he was at. And so it was fun to because I come from the comics world, Comic-Con, art, right? I didn't really have so much exposure and experience in comedy, acting, that kind of thing. So to see him doing it big, and he's a guy who's into a lot of the same stuff I am in terms of the superheroes and the comics and whatnot, it was super cool. So damn it, I was so glad when he was able to come in and play Black Panther in our epic parody movie when we did that. Nigel, if it was not COVID lockdown times, how I would just do whatever it took to get you in here to play Falcon in some kind of Falcon and Winter Soldier parody. Oh my God. Like, just this is what the channel's been missing all this time since lockdowns, right? Like, I get the idea. Like, I would just be so excited for Nigel to come play Falcon in a Falcon Winter Soldier video, that would be the excitement that pushes the whole project from coming up with an idea to writing a script to putting it all together to shooting it to editing it to publishing it. Like, that excitement, because for me, it's like the people, right? It's the carnival atmosphere of production and whatnot. It's just so fun and so exciting. So it's like just the idea of having Nigel come back, that's all the inspiration that I need. You know what I'm saying? So being that we're stuck in COVID lockdown times where guests is cut off and special appearances is cut off and expanding the cast is cut off, and you know, it's been more difficult, frankly, to be perfectly honest. All right. Big Hero 6 is underrated and a superhero movie. Listen, we're going to come back to your comments in a second, y'all. But right now, where's my banners? We got to talk about the Venom, Let There Be Carnage trailer reaction. We're 20 minutes in and we haven't talked about the thing that's in the title yet. So y'all get in the comments in the live chat and let me know what you thought, because I know you watched it today. What are you doing on a channel like this if you did not watch, if you're not the kind of person who would drop everything to watch the trailer for Venom Let There Be Carnage when it came out? I'm going to tell you what I thought of it. Well, first of all, I'll tell you this. I put up a reaction video. So I watched the trailer and recorded a reaction, a live reaction video to seeing it the first time. And it's up right now as a members only exclusive. So if you click join and become a Sean Wardian here on YouTube, or pop over to the Patreon and become a supporter over there, in either place, you can catch my live reaction to the Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer. With that said, before I tell you what I thought of the trailer, I'm going to tell you, just bring you up to speed on my sense of the first movie, okay? The first movie, goofy AF, but it's leaning so heavily into the fun and the silliness of it, right? It's not trying to be anything it's not. And what I especially appreciated about the first one is that you say, okay, I'm a big corporation and I'm going to assign to you the task of going to make a Venom movie, but here's the punchline: you don't get Spider-Man. That's a huge creative challenge, right? And I appreciated how hard the filmmakers looked like they stepped up and rose to that challenge. That's my big takeaway from the first Venom movie, okay? So with that said, they've set themselves up to actually, like, on the one hand, they've built up some expectation, but on the other hand, they've proven that they know what they're doing and can deliver some interesting surprises. So I see the Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer, and, you know, the breakfast scene is amusing enough, and it's, you know, some clever quips and some fun interactions between the symbiote and Eddie. And we hear the voiceover by Cletus Cassidy, Woody Harrelson. Fantastic casting. Everybody thinks that, I'm pretty sure. I don't know anybody who says that they're not excited to see that. Everybody says they are excited to see that. But when you get to the part where it's the lethal injection and the Venom, so the Carnage comes out, and it has that, you know, all the chaos of what's going on in the prison, and Carnage is, you know, when you get that shot of him, like with all the tentacles out in full Carnage mode. Here's my theory. And we're going to come back and revisit this once the movie's out, and we're going to find out if I was correct. My theory is that you don't get full Carnage until the end. That the lethal injection scene when the Carnage comes out is the kickoff into, like, the third act of the movie, and all that stuff in the prison is the finale. So that shot of Carnage with all the tentacles and, like, the full view of them, that says to me that that's like the first full look that you get of him in the movie. And I have a sense that that shot is from late in the movie. So once he's fully carnaged up, right? And then Eddie Brock, because he's at the prison to, like, witness the lethal injection or whatever is going on, my sense of it is that he's going, oh, got to Venom up. And then the big showdown is going to be between Venom and Carnage there, like in and around the prison for the finale of the movie. I don't think that there's going to be a thing where we see Carnage, he comes out, that all that stuff in the prison is the beginning of the movie, and then there's the whole movie is, you know, Carnage on the loose. I don't think that's where they're going with it, which is interesting because so many people are signing up to see Carnage, and having a whole movie be like the two of them going at it all movie long, I think is what people are mostly wanting to see. And I could be wrong about all of this. These are just harebrained theories based on my experience as a fan and what I've learned watching these kinds of trailers and going to see these kinds of movies my whole life as a fan. I've been going to this stuff since I would go to the movies, because I think I'm okay to tell you this, I was not the most popular guy in school, bit of a nerd, bit of a geek. Sometimes you do it to yourself, right? There's a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, shithead, whatever. But sometimes I went to the movies by myself with my allowance back in the day. Also, we moved a lot, parents breaking up and family chaos. And so I ended up, like, starting over at a new school frequently, all this kind of stuff. So never had friends, really, a few friends here and there, but I'd have to go to the movies by myself. So I take my allowance, go see these superhero movies by myself. And that was just the world that I lived in, just dove into it, just lived and breathed that world of superheroes, comic books, superhero movies. And that's why, as the Marvel thing developed and the whole, like, you know, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies getting taken seriously, and then the Marvel universe developing, that was all so fun, because that was just like what I'd put my faith and my passion into literally my whole life. From being a little, like, toddler age kid with my dad showing me the Christopher Reeve Superman movies and watching Batman 66 as a family, and watching the Spider-Man cartoons from the 60s with my mom on TV when I was like little, and all the way along until now, when I'm still absolutely nutty for this stuff. So that is my reaction to the Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer. Can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be silly, bordering on stupid, but it also looks like they're leaning into it. I think that the Eddie Brock and Venom scenes are going to be hilarious. I think that they're going to spend too much time on that at the expense of doing cool things with Carnage, and that this whole thing of saving Carnage for the end, you're going to watch it and be all like, well, why didn't they introduce Carnage in the beginning and have their battle be the whole movie? I don't know, but that's just my hunch. We'll find out if I was right. And now I want to pop over to the comments and see what y'all are saying about Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and the trailer. Let's see. Oh, there's Nigel saying he would be Falcon to my Winter Soldier. Well, dude, maybe we got to get some get some discussions happening off air about how we can make this happen, whatever it takes, whether it's COVID tests or distancing, or I mean, production's happening, right? So maybe there's a discussion to be had there. But yeah, Nigel, guess what? Irish Lover, he thinks that's pretty cool that you used to perform at the Second City, and yeah, now he's all over TV everywhere. There's Nigel saying I'm waxing his car for sure. Oh man. Okay, going back to that topic about the box set, the Irish Lover would like to see a box set. That's talking about them comics back in the day. All right. So what else are y'all saying about the trailers and whatnot? Parker Cowan says 40 years since Raiders of the Lost Ark came out, it would make sense to make an epic parody movie of the film when you can, and maybe next year Indy 5, the original Star Wars. Well, on that topic, Parker, I'll tell you what, I would never rule that idea out. I think I would have a lot more in terms of like old movies that we were going to do, stuff that's not a current release. I think there'd be like a pretty long list of ones that we would do before we would get to Indiana Jones, but I can also see how doing Indiana Jones would be a great way for us to branch out. Also, we're kind of getting away from the over-reliance on the parody movies, and we've got some ideas in the hopper that involve us in fictionalized scenarios playing ourselves, as well as some original characters. Like we got one called Many Spiders Man, right? You got Spider-Man, that's one spider, but then you have Many Spiders Man, that's obviously better because he's more spiders, right? That's a character we're going to be introducing soon. Johnny Occult, I'll say no more about that. But that's why I was excited today coming into this, because the meeting that we had with the whole team this morning was talking about these videos that we're going to be making soon. And the video slowdown right now is all about shifting gears and putting more emphasis on these original concepts and stuff that we could do more things with. What we really want to do, and where I'm really going with all of this, just to be real with y'all, is that I want to be making like 20, 30, 40-minute long bigger films that we could put on like Amazon Prime and Netflix and places like that. And then this YouTube channel could have a lot more that's like the making of that stuff, behind the scenes, stuff that we make while we're making that stuff. So it all kind of ties in with that, right? Never, ever, ever leaving behind the superhero thing, but rolling out more original concepts and, you know, trying to just have our own piece of the pop culture pie that we can own. And, you know, like I've said before, that when we start rolling out these original characters, I said to the team, like, as soon as people are in the comments shouting out the original characters, that's it. It's on. And we can figure that it's destiny at that point, that there's going to be action figures and spin-off shows and all kind of merchandising. And that's where we'd like to be able to go with this, right? If we make, look, I've done it, right? Like I've made a Spider-Man video, this 700 million views, but like, what can I do with that to capitalize and build business around that? Because like, I can't make a Spider-Man t-shirt, right? That's the trademark infringement. I get away with making the video because it's parody, right? It's fair use, but to actually make a Spider-Man t-shirt and sell that as a memento of the video, like it doesn't quite work that way, right? So there's a big shift happening towards stuff that we, to put it very, very succinctly, can make a t-shirt of. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where we're going with all of this. But oh, thank you all for the comments coming in. Like I love how active the live chat is right now. Parker, yeah, we talked about that one. Looks funny, but it's not a big hype like Black Widow, Shang-Chi. Isn't it though? I think in some corners it is. I would think that in some corners, like I think that the Disney marketing machine is more effective, right? I think that Disney is so much more all pervasive, and that's why the perception perhaps could be that the Marvel movies are a bigger deal and they're more on the tip of everybody's tongue. But recall that Venom, most kind of expert pundit kind of people were expecting that Venom was going to be a big flop, and then it ended up being a sleeper hit, right? And I think that's, like I said, because I think Disney's more all pervasive and just has more of like a lock on pop culture. And but we'll see. We'll see. I also, between me and you, like I said, I don't think Venom 2 is going to be at the same level. I think that like there was a lot of like new going on with the Venom movie, but that new isn't there for the second one. So they hopefully know that they can't do any kind of resting on their laurels or being asleep at the switch, that they got to come hard with this. And that's what I'm hoping they do for Venom 2. Tallahassee from Zombieland as Carnage. Yes, will be an interesting character to parody. Yes. Now, here's my problem is that when we did the epic parody last time, I played Eddie Brock. Okay. But I also feel like I couldn't stand to not play Woody Harrelson if we did a Carnage parody. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. that movie's not coming out till later this year, so we are way off. Hello there, Super, says Pillvax. What up? Hello there, Dark Side, Justice League, please. Well, we're going to be talking about the Justice League very, very soon, very, very shortly. Abigail Howard has just made it into the chat when she says, hey, Sean, well, what's up to you? However, I hope this is going to be rated R. I do believe that Venom is going to be rated R. I'm pretty sure that's it. One step away from NSL. For SNL, you're talking about the Second City, I think. Yeah. Movie is going to be fire, says Eben Lackey. Even if the movie isn't good, I put in quotes because, good is in the eye of the beholder, I think it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And if theaters and whatnot are back by the time that movie comes out, I think that's going to be like a really, really fun night out at the movies. Like I haven't watched Venom a second time since it's been on home video, but I had a lot of fun the night that we went to see it in the theater, right? And sometimes that's all you need. Disney destroyed the Star Wars universe and franchise. Well, that is a very popular opinion. I share aspects of it. And there's only so much I can say as the founder and executive producer of the first Star Wars Day event in the world. But I'll put it to you this way. Mandalorian and some of what's going on there has signaled a new way. And this is the way, if you know what I'm talking about. And also the rumor mill is that Gina Carano is uncanceled. So we'll see how that pans out in the next coming weeks. Eben Lackey says, but why? I think I'm not sure what you're referring to. Are you excited about Venom 2 and Tom Holland Spider-Man 3? This is a question being asked by Gabriel Acero. I hope I pronounced it right. Dude, of course I'm excited about, both of those. Venom 2 we've been talking about, and I'm excited. I'm excited for both of these for very, very different reasons. I'm excited for Venom 2 because I think it's going to be just like a ridiculous, fun, good time. And I'm excited for Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3 because I am absolutely bonkers nutso Spider-Man fan my whole life. Got a glass case 7 feet tall full of a giant collection of Spider-Man toys at home. In fact, my little daughter Isabel now has just got to the point where she will interact with and pick up my Spider-Man toys. For the last long time, I think she's been interested in them because they've got those big eyes, and in the display case, it's just like literally hundreds of these Spider-Man eyes looking at you. But when I would take a figure out and try to hand it to her, give her a doll, give her an action figure, whatever, she would kind of like recoil from it. I think he was still a little too, like the mysterious quality of his mask. I think she was just a little too weary about it. But just in the last week or two, she has started playing with one of my Spider-Man figures that I left out for her. And every time we see a spider in the house and she starts doing this, and then, yeah, spider. And then she points at Spider-Man. It's very, very cute. And it's fun thinking that she's grown up and turned into a fan of this stuff. KS, Ace Rico Stizo says, hey, yo, tuning in with the Sean Ward Show. Everybody show love and sub now. Yeah, do it. I peeped the trailer. I think he's talking about Venom 2. And so far, I find it interesting, and I would love to watch this to see the outcome. I think I'm the same boat as you. Erin Yeager says, love the design of Carnage. Can't wait for the movie. I will go with you on this one. I think that the look of Carnage is very in keeping with the comics. And that's what I said to somebody when we were on the group call this morning with the team, and somebody said they hadn't seen the trailer yet. I said, here's what I'll tell you. It looks like every 14-year-old boy comic fan's ultimate fantasy come to life. I think that that demographic, that this movie is squarely aimed at that demographic, but also we can all be that demographic in our hearts, right? And that's why we're going to go to this movie and think it's hilarious. Like I said, I hope it's going to be rated R. It will be. I would be shocked if it wasn't, to be completely honest. Tom Holland as Spider-Man is something to look forward to. Now, here's an interesting thought, is that when Sony made the deal with Marvel for Spider-Man to be in the MCU originally, that deal was for 5 movies. But Sony's deal with Tom Holland was for 6 movies, right? So Sony is the ones responsible for producing Spider-Man movies. They have the rights, right? So they worked out a deal with Disney to allow a co-production thing that allows Spider-Man to be in their movie universe. But Tom Holland has made the deal with Sony, and Sony signing him up for one more movie than they've signed up to do with Disney. A lot of people were wondering if that was so that Sony could use Marvel as an asset to build up this new version of Spider-Man, and then once he's at the peak of his popularity from the MCU, pluck him out and put him against Venom in their own movie universe and hope that the fans don't notice and think that it's all the same thing. But then they re-up the deal, as we all know. So the fact that Disney and Sony have extended their deal, I would be curious to find out about Sony's deal with Tom Holland. Have they kept that one extra movie in the hip pocket? Because that's a nice little escape hatch, break glass in case of emergency thing for Sony, that at any point, if anything starts to go off the rails with Disney and the Spider-Man franchise and any of that kind of stuff, they can always pluck them out and put them in their own thing in a movie with Venom and take it there. I'm not as excited for that. Like, all this talk about Venom in the movies and what they were able to do with the movie and whatnot, like, that's all out of respect for what they were able to do given the challenges that they had. But it's not because I'm such a fan of Venom. I think that Venom is one of the least interesting things going on in the Spider-Man comics. I'm more interested in the urban, street level, kind of reasonably grounded, like the technological villains, I think, are the ones that I more like, because I find that I can buy into that a little bit more. The what do you call that? Suspending your disbelief. That's what it was. Like, it's easier to suspend my disbelief with those. Once you're talking about him fighting against these like alien symbiote monsters that like are just driven to be a monster and don't really have like a character arc other than I hate Spider-Man, like, that's where it gets a little bit much for me. I'm not into it in the comics, but in the movies, on its own merits, it's fun. Hey, look who's back. It's Jenna Eveld. She's saying, hey, Sean. Well, hey to you. Thank you for coming back. I think this is 3, maybe 4 weeks in a row that we've seen Jenna in the chat. So thanks for coming. Thanks for taking part. I hope they have a something in Eminem track for Venom 2. The reason why I put this comment on the screen is because it reminds me, if you go back and look at our Venom epic parody movie, I wanted to do something for the ending that we didn't do. And I swear from then to now, I've just, I should have done it. Like, I wish we would have done it. What we're going to do is have the final shot and the last line. And then last thing before it ends, everybody on screen was going to start doing the song. Let's go get them, Venom, and start doing the song. And damn it, I wish we would have done that. Every time I think of it, I wish we would have done that for the ending. That would have been so funny. I apologize, but I got to get going. Well, no apology necessary. You popped in, you represented, you showed off everybody that you are a member and let them know that they should get that symbol beside their name as well. So click join down below, everybody. Become a Sean Wardian. You're going to get some awesome bonuses. Yeah, you know what? We should probably start talking about those bonuses. Let's get this banner off the screen real quick. We can talk about this more soon enough. But before we go any further, let's talk about how when you become a Sean Wardian, you can do it on Patreon. You can do it on Member. We talked about our second Patreon member, but you know what we didn't cover yet? The new stickers are here. All right, we got it. Remember last week I showed you the preview. There was your preview of the new stickers. The logo and the cartoon me. Well, they're here now. I've already started showing them off, sticking them places around my neighborhood. Shh, don't tell anybody. But there's the little me. There's the little logo. If I hold them at you, they're going to be out of focus, but there you go. You get the idea. But yeah, these stickers are here. And so we're ready to send these out to all the members along with, where is it? Here it is. The art magazine. Boom. let's take a look at that. Become a Sean Wardian, and you get yourself a copy of my exclusive VIP art magazine that has stuff out of my sketchbooks that no one was ever going to see, little jotting down ideas, stuff that I was working on for behind the scenes of videos. And right now I'm working on the new issue of this. So you see that it says spring 2021 on it, right? So this is what you're looking at right now is the first edition, the first issue of a project that's called The Sean Ward Show, The Works. And so it's going to be every season, we're going to put one out, and it's going to have like it's almost like part of the reason to do art and animation videos on the channel is to be able to put that art in a magazine like this. Because as I've said many times, for me, the capital A art of it is making these fun pop art pieces of things that you can hold in your hands and whatnot, right? So this is where I really, really like thrills me creatively to be able to do this kind of thing. And the summer 2021 issue is going to be getting put together in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be ready to go out in June. So if you want to make sure you don't miss out on the first issue, you want to make sure that you're joining and you're collecting from the very, very beginning. If you join right now, you give us your mailing address as part of the sign-up process, and then we'll send you a copy of my art magazine as well as the new stickers. Put them in the mail, send them straight to your house, and you'll be all set to receive it when the summer 2021 issue comes out. That's going to have a lot of art from this one over here. What was I showing you? On the website when I showed you the how I got my first 1 million views on YouTube. A lot of the behind the scenes art from this project is going to be in the issue, as well as your first look at, you see over here, you can see this picture of the Justice League and Zack Snyder. What that is about is also mentioned in the title of this video, the Snyderverse, the movie. Okay, so like I started talking to you last week, I'm working on this giant animated film and graphic novel combo project called The Snyder Cut, the movie. And so it's basically my cartoon dramatization of all of that behind the scenes nuttiness that went on during the making of the Justice League movies, plural, the 2017 theatrical version and what came out called Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that also, of course, has affected movies like Suicide Squad and The Flash and Wonder Woman. So that whole epic behind the scenes story, we are right now in the middle of creating this awesome mammoth animated film and graphic novel project. And you're going to get your first peek at some of what's been developing for that in the summer issue of the Sean Ward Show, The Works, my VIP and members only art magazine. So sign up to become a member either here or on Patreon. Become a Sean Wardian. We get that out to you in the mail, and you'll be sitting pretty ready to be among the very first on the planet to get your first peek at this the Snyder Cut, the movie. Now, I'm showing you the website right now, theshawnwardshow.com. Make sure you go check out this website. Check out this website and click on this. It's right on the front page. And if you click on it, it takes you to this page right here. The Snyder Cut, the movie. This is a survey. Wait a minute. It's supposed to be survey. I don't know why, but it went to the, no, it didn't actually. So this is supposed to be, okay, well, like I said, this is a beta test, this live show. That's supposed to be, hold on, let's get this going. There we go. So this is supposed to be a survey down here. Maybe it's because I'm logged in. Let me see if I go to an incognito window. But then you're not going to be seeing the window because it's... okay, yeah, it's still not even showing up there. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm going to have to look into that after the show. But after I look into it, so go later tonight, and you're going to be able to take a survey where I ask a bunch of questions because I want that fan perspective of what went down with that and the experience of being a fan and following that news as it was happening. That's what I want to reflect and get an accurate read on to make sure that that is accurately reflected in the film, because I want it to be, even though it's going to be like a fantastical cartoon telling of that story, I still want it to be some kind of like definitive document of what happened with all of that. So go there tonight, fill out that survey, and help me develop this movie. Now, in terms of news regarding that project, the Snyder Cut, the movie, I'm here with an update. Last week, I put in the work. I sat down on the morning of Wednesday last week, and I had 5 pages of the script written. And even some of that was just in treatment form. And I've got my little story outline from when I developed the story in terms of like the Zack Snyder. All my Snyders are mixed up. Blake Snyder, Save the Cat, like that screenwriting book, Save the Cat, how you break down an idea that you want to turn into a movie script, breaking it down according to how that book tells you to do it. I've got that outline. I've got my scene by scene guideline, and then I got 5 pages of script. All Wednesday and then half of Thursday before I had to move on to some other things. And I got the full 25-page script. I'm not quite at the point of a full first draft yet. I have sort of its part script, part treatment, call it a scriptment. And it's mostly script, but there's just a few places where it's kind of broad strokes and don't get into the specifics. So like the next step for me is to flesh that out and get that script finished. I'm still working on how I'm going to dramatize the Suicide Squad release. I did figure out how to dramatize the BVS release, Dawn of Justice, and the Justice League theatrical release. Proud of myself when I figured that out, let me tell you. So I'm still trying to crack the code on how to dramatize the Suicide Squad release. And then there's a couple of spots where I've got like notes for dialogue and stuff like that, but not actually completely fleshed out. But we're getting very, very close. So then the next step after that will be to hand the project to my sister, work out the storyboards and the layouts for the graphic novel pages, and then start doing the actual art. I mentioned previously that we are looking to do this in a style inspired by a Netflix show called Way of the House Husband, because I saw the trailer for that and I was so inspired. Before I saw that trailer, this whole idea about doing a Snyder Cut thing was going to be one of these videos where it's like me talking to the camera, telling the story, and then there's art and animation like illustrating what I'm saying. And that would be, a 5-6 minute long video. But then when I saw the trailer for this Netflix show called The Way of the House Husband, I was so inspired by the look of that animation and that animation style, where it looks like they took the art from the comic book and brought it in and moved it. You have to, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But it's a style of animation that went, oh, that's how we can do it. That's how I got to do it. And then I saw how it has to be not me telling the story, but actually like a scripted dramatization of the whole thing with characters and the whole thing. So when we get to the point of getting near ready to show that, the release plan for that, there's going to be a crowdfunding campaign. I've been here and there on this idea of crowdfunding for a long time, but mostly the reason not to do it would be out of fear that I'm not going to make the goal or something like that. And you can't let fear hold you back. Plus, I'm at this point with this channel kind of looping into what I was saying earlier about how just like what it really needs to just give it a boost and me a boost and just kind of be that rising tide that lifts all ships. Is we just need that big marquee project, something with heft, something that we can put on additional streaming platforms, something that's more akin to a quote unquote real movie. And doing this right now, it looks like it's going to be 30 to 40 minute long animated project with an accompanying graphic novel. And then once that goes to the crowdfunding, I've already got ideas for stretch goals, like enhancements to the format that the book will come out in. At a certain stretch goal level, we could do hardcover or metallic embossing on the title or something like that. But I had the idea when I was walking my dog on the weekend for like the ultimate stretch goal. And wouldn't it be so cool to have one of the stretch goals be a Zack Snyder action figure? And then I started thinking, like, he's got such a huge fan base and there's so many action figures being made by so many different companies, Super 7 and places like this, for every pop culture thing you can imagine, even a film director's series. Like I can picture right now, like I've seen like one of those kind of companies that made an Alfred Hitchcock action figure. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, there's never been, to my knowledge anyway, please tell me if I'm wrong. I'd love to know about it. I'd love to buy it if I'm wrong. But to my knowledge, there hasn't yet been like a Zack Snyder action figure. And I swear, next time I'll set that so that it doesn't auto time out. Hey, we're just beta testing here. Where was I? Yes, Zack Snyder action figure. That would be just like the ultimate stretch goal. So I've got some people that I need to reach out to and talk to about like how to make that happen. Should we be, knock on wood, fortunate enough to get that far with this project? But this is kind of where my mind is at. This is where I'm going with this. This is what I want to do. So once that survey is up, take the survey and then come here, because week in, week out, I'm going to be giving you the update. That I'm trying to make that, to the degree that I'm able to, make that like my main priority in terms of like my work, is getting this Snyder Cut thing done. I don't want to say as fast as I can, because I don't want to sound like we're rushing, but making it like a top priority, even higher of a priority than getting videos published every week, because I just want to quest after that upper level, that higher echelon, like so bad. And I also just have such a passion to do this story, because it just like it hits that intersection of kind of so many of my big pop culture passions, which is the world of filmmaking, the behind the scenes politics and drama of Hollywood that turns it so it almost seems like it's like ancient Roman times type of stuff, superhero movies, all that stuff. I love it all. And this is such an intersection, a marriage of all of that. Having a film, a graphic novel out at the same time. I'm so excited at the potential for this project, and can't wait to get it out there, and can't wait to be giving you the updates week by week. So make sure that you come here and check out the live show every week at 4:00 on Mondays. That's another thing I should have probably asked you guys at the beginning of the show. Maybe I'll say it closer to the beginning next time, but I'm starting to get a feel for what this show is and what it's going to be. And I'm starting to think about, it might be better to move it to Monday evenings. So if I do my workday on Monday, go home, help with dinner with my daughter, put the baby in the bath, put the baby in bed, and then come back to the studio to do this live stream on Monday evening at like 7 or 8 o'clock. Let me know what you would think about that. Or do you think 4:00 in the afternoon is an even more convenient time for you? Either way, I'd love to know, and you could tell me. So for the time that we have remaining in this show, I'm going to pop on over to the chat, the live chat, and see what y'all are saying. A lot of awesome comments coming in. Do you think the Spider-Man 3 is going to be a Spider-Verse movie? I have no idea, because now you got Andrew Garfield saying that no one has called him, no one has reached out, he's not in it. But then again, like, that could be subterfuge. He could be lying through his teeth. Who knows? So far, I'm loving the special effects for the new Venom, but I wonder if they would just give them a costume and enhance it with special effects like they did in Spider-Man 3. Great question. I think he's entirely CGI. I don't know. But when we were doing that breakfast scene in the trailer, I was thinking because they're going for like a throwback 80s vibe with that movie, you can tell, right? So it's like, if that was one of those 80s movies, those would be like puppet tentacles. And there'd be like behind the scenes documentaries about how they achieved those special effects with the puppets, and that'd be hilarious. Here's a great question. I like Humanist, says Marvel or DC. I've been asked this before, and my answer is the same. I love them both, and I like one better than the other. The different ones at different times. I grew up loving them both, and for me, it might as well all be the same thing. When you look at the videos that we make, we got Batman crossing over with Spider-Man, crossing over with Joker, crossing back over with Doctor Strange. Like, the lines between the two don't exist in our world. I feel like it's only a matter of time until the Disney just says whatever, buys DC from AT&T, and it's all one thing, because why not? Tour's the best, says Harilla Theodoria. Hopefully you meant you're the best. Can't wait for the animated film. Well, I'm looking so forward to getting it out there. Really nervous about the crowdfunding aspect of it, but at the same time, really excited and nervous in a way that tells me that that's more reason to do it. The gremlins are having a picnic in the interweb. Why? What's happening? Is my show like glitching? I'm hardwired in. I'm not going over the Wi-Fi. There shouldn't be any sync issues like previously when I was doing it on my laptop. Tell me if this is if there's any problem with the connection. Kimar Cunningham says, Sean, yo, that's me. And here's the S. Here's the S for you. Boom. Jenna Eveld, nice suit. Thank you very much. That's my Italian hop sack from Garrison Bespoke. So the people who made this suit, the place I got this suit from, it's the same place where they make the suits for the TV show Suits. What do you think about that? True story. Do Freddy versus Jason. Maybe after we do Venom 2, that would be a lot of fun. And then maybe a gag of David Ayer Suicide Squad bathroom tissue. What am I missing there? I gotta know, because this sounds hilarious. Is there some like story that I didn't hear about or that I'm forgetting? You got to fill me in on this. Bridget Hayward says, can I get a shout out? Of course you can, because Bridget, look at that. Your last name has my last name in it. What's going on with that? Tell you what, next time we have a family picnic, your family can come. And if anybody asks any questions, you and I will go, it's close enough. And that'll be awesome. And are you watching Venom 2 now? Asks Underground Gaming. Dude, if I had the inside scoop like that, I would be bragging. I would be on here first thing going, dudes, I saw the Venom 2 movie already. It's not coming out for months and I saw it already. No, I haven't seen it yet. And I'm definitely not watching right now. Irish Lover saying an action figure for Zack Snyder. So, okay. Ali Hassan says, I have a question. Let's see your question, bro. The drum is rolling. Brrr, we want to get to that question. Going back to Irish Lover, a faction figure for Zack Snyder. I want to send it to him because I've met Zack Snyder. I think I've told you the story before that when he was in Toronto to promote Man of Steel, Warner Brothers put on an event at the CN Tower that I'll never forget it because there wasn't any media invited. It wasn't a media event. It wasn't explicitly a promotions event. They invited like movers and shakers from the comic book scene. So it was the guy that runs the Silver Snail comic book store and these two girls that run a comics and entertainment news blog and stuff like that. And be me doing the superhero YouTube videos. It was so much more like a fan event. And it was the costumes from the movie being put on display because that was an exhibit that was going to be there for a few months. And then we're going, and it said Zack Snyder would be in attendance. So we don't know what to expect, right? So we're all milling about. And as you get there, you start seeing these people, and it's all people that we know. And we're, hey, how you doing? How you been? Oh my God, so good to see you. And then the person from Warner Brothers, local person, comes out and thanks all for coming. And I'm going to introduce is Charles Roven, the producer. It's like big time Hollywood producer. Charles Roven comes up and gets on the mic and talk, and then introduces Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder comes out and everybody whoops it up for him because we all love him. And he gets up on the mic, goes, oh, I didn't have anything prepared. I didn't make a speech or anything, but, check out the comic books, have a drink, and, let's talk, let's hang out. And so none of us knew what the event was going to be. We just knew that we were invited to this thing at the CN Tower to go see the Man of Steel costumes, and Zack Snyder's going to be there. And what it was 2-3 hours of like just open bar, free drinks, and Zack Snyder just hanging out. You just get to chat with him. This guy over here is chatting with him about like some neighborhood that he lives in. Zack Snyder's like, yeah, I remember I stayed there for a little while when I was making Dawn of the Dead, and just hanging out. And then he was in town for a couple of days, and I think anyway he did some talk shows and whatnot. But the story that went around, what we all heard about, was how he spent the whole time when he was in town just hanging out at the Silver Snail comic book store. So imagine if you're just going like a customer, like you always do, pop into the store to pick up your weekly comic books, and fucking Zack Snyder's in there for hours just shooting the shit with fans. Like, that's why I'm so interested in this story and why I root for the guy. Even when I don't like a movie like Sucker Punch, or I think a movie like Batman versus Superman wasn't all that it could have been, I'm such a fan of him as a guy because of stories like that. Like, I've never heard anything other than he's just such a nice, cool, down-to-earth guy. And so that's why I want to make an action figure of him. And that's why I would be so desperate to make sure that he got one. And wouldn't it be awesome if he took a photo with it and published it on his Vero? All right. Can I have a shout out? Says Underground Gaming. Shout out to Underground Gaming. Yeah. Oh, a shout out for XJ Love. Ali Hassan, would you rate Justice League 1 to 10? Theatrical cut, 2. Zack Snyder's edition, 8. I might even go as high as 9 or 10 in the context of it's his version of Justice League, not some kind of official version. How Zack himself has put it is that can now exist as like an Elseworlds version. And so the pressure is off. And that's why I don't get why Warner Brothers keeps feeling the need to make these big announcements about how there's not going to be any Snyderverse going forward. Because it's like, if he's allowed to have it be just this like parallel universe thing that doesn't affect what the rest of the studio is doing for their DC movies, then why not let him make more and let it just be its own thing, separate from, because they don't want it to compete and take attention away, I guess. Jenna Eveld says, I think you'll branch out and do some, Dark Horse stuff? I'd love to see your take on Hellboy. You know what? If they ever made a Hellboy movie again and it was a hit, it might be worth it to put a Hellboy costume together and see what we could do. Just a joke for the disaster of a film, Suicide Squad. Okay, I get you. I feel you now. Present them an award in the form of toilet paper. Yeah, maybe we'll work that in. Would you do a video about Justice League Zack Snyder? Dude, that's what we're talking about. I'm working on making the biggest, baddest, craziest video I've ever done about Justice League Zack Snyder. And it's going to be an enormous project and a big challenge, but I'm ready. We're stepping up to it. Bridget Hayward says, are you excited for the action figures for Venom 2? I'd love to see them. I haven't seen any yet. I'd love to see them. And he says, yo, where's my shout out? Yo, KS Ace Rico Steezy. KS Ace Rico Steezy in the house. Shout out, y'all. Okay, and that, I believe, friends, is going to bring the show to a close. Put the URL back on screen before we wrap up here. Encourage you to check out theSeanWardShow.com. There it is on your screen right there. It's videos, it's comics, it's music. You can find out all about me. You can find out about my comics, my art, stuff that I did before I had any kind of YouTube success. Here's a bunch of companies I've created content for, very, very prestigious names in the business. And then most importantly, right there, become a Sean Wardian. Click that Join Now button and let me send you this magazine and these stickers in the mail to your house. Okay, I want to get these out to you. I want to be out of these. I want to make it so that when people 2-3 issues down the road are like, hey, you got any of the first one left? Sorry, dude, we're all out. Too many people clicked that Join Now button at once. Had to send them all out, and now we got none left because all the Sean Wardians, the OG Sean Wardians, have got them. Let's let that dream come true. I want to send this stuff to you in the mail. So sign up, become a Sean Wardian, and watch your life become 75% better. All right. Well, this is the end of the show for today. We'll see you again next week. I'll give you the next update about how the Snyder Cut, the movie, is going. And we'll be talking about any kind of pop culture topics that come up in the superhero space. Maybe there'll be another movie trailer. Maybe there'll be another big Marvel announcement. Who knows? But until then, I'm going to be keeping working hard on all this stuff that is going to keep you very entertained. All of these awesome projects that you're going to love. I'm going to keep working on them. And we'll see you for another update next Monday. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. Thanks so much for tuning in. The Love Y'all show, every time we do one of these shows, is just makes me feel so good. Makes me so excited to keep making art and keep striving at being that great artist that I always wanted to be ever since I was a little kid. My childhood dream has been to make these movies and comics that you all give me the opportunity to be able to make. So thank you so much once again for that, and we'll see you next time.